Yo, what's up guys, Mad Zach here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Arturia DrumBrute. Basically, you know, it's a drum machine. You've got different drum sounds, you can step sequence, you can play stuff in. In terms of sort of the build quality, it reminds me a lot of the other Arturia stuff. The knobs, nice and smooth. The buttons are a little bit not perfect, I don't know, like they were getting stuck a little bit, but they work, they're okay. And it's important to keep in mind that this is a, you know, an intro level drum machine, you know, for the price point. It's all about what you're getting. So let's take a look at sort of what it sounds like and how we use it. In case you are new to the world of drum machines, the most common way to sequence a beat is just by step sequencing. So what I'll do is I'll use this shift button and I can select any drum sound. So let's start with the kick. And then I can just start putting sounds in there. That's sort of a 4 on the floor kick. And then, so say for example, now I've got this kick going. Got a few controls here. And I'm going to go through and play the different sounds, and I'll let you really be the judge. I'm not going to comment too much, but I will a little bit on like what I think of the sounds actually. This is called impact. I don't know if that's what I would call that. I can't say I was too in love with the kick, but let's just move on and program in a little hat here. Just gonna go for some standard kind of techno-ish beat to start out with here. So that's the hat. What's up, hat? When you have the decay short on these hats, they sound pretty standard, you know, little chick tick. But when you open them up, they've got some sort of interesting sound to them. It's not quite like a drum machine that I've heard before. Very sort of metallic and also kind of like rough in a sense. So I'll show you another way that we can play, you know, play a sound in besides step sequencing. And it's pretty nice because it has these buttons right here which are very playable. So you can just hit record. Unhit record. So I just played that in, and I can do the same thing if I want to select like claves. Some of the sounds on here are pretty cool. You have like 2 sound slots for them. So, or let me explain. Like for this slot right here, you can sequence the rim or the clave just by toggling this button. So. And depending on how hard you press it, it divides it into an accent or a non-accent. So it's not like a continuous velocity, it's more of like a loud or soft, which is the same as on the 909, for example. So let's add some shakers. This is one thing that I was I thought was cool because I haven't used an analog drum machine that had shakers before. And I'll show you the sort of the final way to play something in. So again, I'm going to hit record, and now I'm going to hold down this sort of step repeat touch strip here on the 16th, and I can just go. So you can use that, repeat touch strip to sort of get patterns in really quickly. And let's say to demonstrate that slot thing where you have the 2 sounds in one slot, now I'll just press this button to go to tambourine. You can see the sequence changes, and I can just put. Now this is feeling pretty straight, so we'll dive into another cool feature of it, of course, which is pretty standard on drum machines, but that's swing. Not loving that tambourine placement. Now let's check out the secondary kick. So you've got these 2 different kicks, which is cool. One is more of like the punchy one, and then the other one is more of just like a sub, like almost a little bit more 808-ish. So for this, I'm gonna play it in. Need a little bit more volume getting into it. Let's check out the toms. So let's record that in. So you can really get a groove going for sure, and like use these sound parameters to rock out, essentially, I guess is what you would call it. Now I'll show you how I do like muting. So I'm going to mute something before I do the sequence and then play it in. So let's mute this and then select it. You can do sort of a dramatic. So because you have these mutes and solos, it's also really handy for doing sort of, builds, or not builds, but, dynamic kind of changes. And let's say I want to mute something. Let's check out some of the clap parameter changes. It's also got a laser sound, which is pretty cool. I like that. So I pulled the kick decay down on the main kick, and I put the cymbal and the zap up, and then all at once I'm going to put the kick release out and pull these in. Try adding a little bit of this sweep to the kick. It's pretty, bold, this sweep. So now if I want to just clear a pattern, like say for example the kick, I just hit erase and then just hit that sound and it will delete it. Now I can maybe fade out this second kick, put that decay up all the way on the main kick, and I'll record a new pattern. Bring in that snare. So let's mute a couple sounds. So you can select any sound that you want to be a part of this mute bus, which is pretty cool. So now when I hit mute, it'll actually unmute all those sounds. So I can really easily do sort of a build sort of thing. Another thing that I wanted to show you, which I thought was really cool, is this polyrhythm mode. So let's get rid of some sounds here. And now I just want to hit Shift and make sure polyrhythm is enabled. And it allows you to have different length patterns going at the same time. So I'm going to do something with the toms here. So we'll go to tom, we'll hit last step here, and just make it like, and then on low tom, we'll make the last step like, just different. So it's constantly shifting the relationship between those sounds, which I think is really cool. And you can see as I'm just moving through, I can also, you know, oh, this is another cool thing I almost forgot. It's like a sort of a beat repeat for the whole drum machine. You do also have this output filter, which I'll show you real quick. So let's see, we want high pass filter. So you can high pass, pretty standard, but it's nice to have it right on there, especially if you were jamming, you know. So that is the Arturia DrumBrute in a nutshell. The strength, I think, is definitely in sort of unique sound, and most of all the playability of it, like as an instrument. Because as soon as you get something like this right in front of you, you're away from the computer and you can start to jam, and it's very expressive, you know? And so yeah, anyways, I'm Mad Zach. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out.